So today's video is to go through some of the controls and setup of a new Discovery and help you get a better understanding of some of the features available on it. So just on the exterior, before we hop into the vehicle, just to have a look at the keyless entry. Once you have the key in your possession and approach the vehicle, it will open automatically once you put your hand inside the handle. So like so, we'll open the vehicle, and to lock, just simply touch the dimple on any of the four door handles. At the point of collection, we will clarify if you want the whole vehicle to open or just the driver's door. Either option can be set. So again, just to put your hand inside the handle and the vehicle will open. Discovery HSE models come with an inner tailgate. When opening the boot with the key fob, like so, the inner tailgate will open down automatically as well. However, when you press the button on the tailgate itself, only the tailgate will open. Like so. This is in a case where you have cargo built up, or maybe a dog, for instance, in the boot area. If your Discovery is equipped with the detachable tow bar, it's easily installed, just located here in the inner storage area. So installation is pretty much just clicks straight into place, like so. You can then turn the key here on the side. Once the key is out, you know it's installed correctly. And to remove again, obviously key in position, and actually just to show, sorry, the hinge socket is on a hinge here, so when not necessary, it falls out of the way again, and just pull out the handle. So turn the key, handle out, twist down, and it removes again. In the unlikely event of a puncture, access to the spare wheel is from within the boot area by lifting up this cap here, and with the use of the toolkit, which is on the right hand side of the boot area, we can loosen the bolt which drops down the spare wheel, which is located on the underneath of the vehicle under the rear bumper. Again, in the unlikely event of a puncture, and if you don't feel comfortable changing the wheel yourself, we would encourage people to avail of Land Rover Assist. That can be accessed through this button here by the rear view mirror. Press and hold the glass button for a number of seconds, and it will make a call to Land Rover Assist, which will get a representative out to you to be change the wheel, or in the unlikely event, recover the vehicle back to us in Johnson and Perrott and giving a replacement vehicle. So just looking at some of the interior features on Discovery, I'm going to start with the main interface, the PIVI Pro system. This is split into three tiles: navigation, phone and media. We can add further tiles, in this case compass, off-road information and so on, but we're just going to stick with the three main ones for now. If you have music on your phone, we can cycle from media by pressing the diamond button on the steering wheel. It'll cycle through FM, AM, digital radio, and then to your phone device, where whatever you're listening to will pop up on the screen. Now, looking at the media section, once we open the tile, I suppose step number one is to actually save your favorite radio stations. We should have this done already for collection, but if any changes need to be made, you basically highlight the star for the stations that you want to add to your favorite list. And at this point, you can move to the steering wheel to alternate between these stations, or pressing this icon here will list them on the screen. If you wish to switch between FM, AM, digital radio and so on, it can be done through the touch screen here as well at this icon, or on the steering wheel, pressing the diamond button again will cycle between these, so FM, AM, digital radio and music streaming from your phone, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify, podcasts, etc. Whatever's on your mobile device will pop up here. Navigation is accessed by just pressing the screen, and it'll open up into full screen. There's a number of different ways of viewing the navigation. In this case, we have it on satellite view, which would be a favourite of mine. It gives you a much clearer image of your location and the terrain around you. If there's a build-up of traffic, the roads will show red, amber, or yellow, depending on what the traffic flow is like. In this case, it's quite Saturday morning, so no traffic. To put in a destination, we can either press search from here and type our area code, street name, business name, etc., or from the home screen. If we go back to that again, pressing the search symbol here will bring us straight to the entry screen. Lastly, back to the home screen again, Like our phone, this symbol here will bring up our recent entries, in this case just the petrol station next door, but this will bring up recent entries, search, or if you've already pre-programmed your home address, this will automatically input it as a destination. So the middle tile is set up for the phone. In this case my phone is already paired, and we'll ensure that your phone is paired on handover. But we have 3 shortcuts here across the bottom. The right hand symbol will bring up our recent calls, as approximately 30 calls kept in the log. The centre one will recall voicemail, and the far left one will alternate between any phones that are paired, or should you wish to add a new device, again it's done through here. Pressing anywhere in the tile opens it into full screen. Again, access to our recent calls or contacts in alphabetical order. Keypad, which will allow us to dial out, or text messages. So in this case, as the messages come through, should I press the green button, it will dial that contact. Press the play symbol and it will speak out the text message.
Hi Dan, how are you today?
Or press this last icon and we have a number of pre-written templates that we can press without taking any distraction from the road. So just looking at the settings for the Pivi Pro system, that's accessed through the cog symbol on the bottom left of the screen. Here we can adjust the brightness of the screen, turn it off if it's too bright. We can change the theme. We would recommend it to be left on the dark. It's probably less distracting. And then down here we have access into the main settings. So from this point we can change things such as the auto dimming headlights, which would be in exterior lights. So in the case of a HSE, they're adaptive driving beams as their matrix lights. In an SE, this would be auto high beam assist. Convenience gives access to things like the auto lowering of the suspension when the vehicle is turned off. Mirrors, we would have a set that when you select reverse, they will dip automatically. And again, should you wish to turn this off, it's by swiping across the cog here. Ambient lighting, we can change the colour of the interior ambient lighting and change things like the units from kilometers to miles and so on. Without going into everything here, you can see there's a good amount of features in connectivity. Again, this should be set up prior to collection, but we can switch on the mobile data. This gives the vehicle an internet connection and allows us to use the navigation in satellite view and determines traffic management, etc. as well. Also, we can change the layout of the main screen to full icons like so, but again, it would be our preference to stick with the 3 tile like so. So sticking with Pivi Pro, some of the other features here from a setting point of view are if we select the symbol of the vehicle, we can turn on or off the auto brake hold, the stop start system, which is extremely smooth with the new 3-litre engine anyway, but should you wish to turn it off, it's done here. Or stability control and the height of the vehicle. So older Discovery owners will be used to having it here on the center console. It's now moved to the touch screen, so you can access your 3 different height settings. And as I mentioned earlier, there's also a setting that it will lower automatically once the vehicle is turned off. Again, this little group here of 4 opens up into the full screen, so we can see all our available options. For instance, Eco Data will give you feedback on how the fuel economy of the vehicle is doing, the impact of the various features, for instance, heated steering wheel, heated windscreen, what an impact that has on the energy. Eco Tips will give you some feedback on improving the efficiency of your driving. And History will look back at the historical journeys that you've done, in this case little or none, but it'll give you feedback on your fuel performance. Also here we have things like the vehicle dimensions, height of the vehicle, so on when raised and lowered, and you have your low traction launch for extreme off-road situations. Moving down to the dual climate control, it would be our recommendation that the vehicle is left on auto. Just simply set your temperature, the vehicle will do the rest itself. If you do wish to control the power of the fans, you do that by pulling out on the dial, and then you can select your different speeds for the fans. But again, we would recommend that it be left on auto. This particular vehicle has a cold climate pack, which gives us the heated windscreen. Obviously standard is the heated rear window, and we have our max AC and for demisting the windscreen. When the engine is actually on, if we press in the button, we can select our 3 different levels of heat for the heated seat, and because this is a HSE model, we also have ventilated seating, so again 3 different levels for the temperature. Lastly, moving down to the center console, obviously the power for the radio and the volume, and this system here brings up our train response. So once the lever is up, it'll give us our pop-up screen on the bottom of the Pivi Pro. So we have our different settings for grass, gravel, snow, sand, mud, ruts, and now wading. So with regard to our steering wheel, most of the controls are quite straightforward. Left and right here we'll cycle through our radio stations, our music tracks on the audio streaming. This roller dial here will do the volume. This accesses the voice control. The diamond button, as we looked at earlier, cycles between radio and FM, AM and audio streaming, and this button will answer or cancel any phone calls. But more importantly, on the right hand side we have our cruise control and lane departure warning. So with the both SE and HSE, adaptive cruise control is now standard. So when you're at a speed that you're happy with, press and hold the toggle switch upwards just for a moment. It'll inform you on the center display what speed you've set the cruise control to. If you want to adjust your speed a little bit, you can do so again through the toggle switch. This icon here, the small gap and the bigger gap, will set the adaptive cruise control, so how far you maintain a gap from the car ahead of you. So once the vehicle is actually in operation, when you press these buttons, it'll give you an information display showing how big of a gap you've selected. Again, as this vehicle is a cold climate pack, we have our heated steering wheel, speed limiter should you wish to use this over cruise control, but having adaptive cruise control would pretty much negate need for a speed limiter. And once you're finished using cruise control, you can press cancel or tip the brakes. This icon will, when illuminated, turns on your lane departure warning. The new Discoveries now come with lane keep assist as well, so we can also have it set that it will try and keep you in the center of your lane while driving, or by pressing this button will turn off the same feature. Regarding storage, just in case it hasn't been made aware, we have a hidden storage compartment here. It's kind of finished in a velour, so handy for not scratching glasses or mobile phones. When we slide back the cover here, we obviously have our 2 cup holders, which are quite obvious, but there's also another compartment underneath that again, quite deep and good for hoarding stuff. And we have our center console here, of course, and our lower glove box, which is an obvious one, but just to make you aware as well, we also have an upper glove box for an extra bit of storage as well. The seat controls, obviously the back of the seat and the base are pretty straightforward in their adjustment, but this directional icon here does the lumbar support, so the upper, lower lumbar support, and this will deflate back both positions, and this collar around the side will tighten the seat around you, so downward position will close the seat, kind of giving a more hug effect around your sides. And also, just to bear in mind, it's very slow operation, so you'll need to press and hold the button. It will take a number of seconds while it changes adjustment. Lastly, just here on the door card, we have the memory function seats. So once you're happy with the seating position, the mirrors, and the steering column, you press M, press and hold, and it'll hold that particular setting, and to recall it at a later time, just press the button. So just to cover some maintenance points on the Discovery, the bonnet release is here on the passenger side. Something that will pop up eventually is AdBlue. You'll get a notification with 2,400 kilometers remaining in the range, and also a notification of how much AdBlue is to be topped up. Do not overfill, and the access point is just here over the passenger wing. So also, just to be aware of, is your washer fluid. That's accessed here. This one point does the front and rear windows. In the unlikely event of needing to put a charge on the vehicle, if a battery were to go flat, you have your positive and negative terminals here. And lastly, we would recommend to check the oil regularly, and the dipstick is located here on the right hand side of the engine block.